Okay, so I want to talk to you about the number one mistake that you're making that's keeping you stuck in the matrix. It's very simple. You might even roll your eyes when I tell you what it is. But when I start to break this down, you're going to start to notice a huge shift in your reality. When you start implementing this particular principle, things will change. They can't not change. They will scientifically change. This isn't some quantum woo woo theory. This is actual, practical, real advice. Reality Transurfing is a book that was written in the early 2000s. I've studied the book for 8 years now. Vadim just put out a brand new book. It's called Transurf Yourself. In that book, he says, you know everything in reality transurfing. You just don't practice it. And when I read that line, I was like, damn, dude, it totally hit me right in the gut because he's exactly right. So as we start to unravel what reality is and how we interact with it, we know that we are directly influencing our environment. That's obvious. I pick up this pen, I put this pen down, okay? We are also directly influencing our environment with our mind, particularly with our thoughts and feelings, the way that we think and feel and engage with the environment. Over the course of your life, you have built up certain habits, certain thought habits, which have become markers, which basically repeat themselves over and over and over and over again. And they've become so embedded in your psyche that you don't even notice them anymore. So when people say, wake up, reality is a dream, we're living in a dream, you're dreaming, you're asleep, wake up, and you're like, I'm here, dude, I'm awake. No, you're not. You don't realize it. You don't even know how asleep you are because you can't tell because of these markers that are basically programs that are running in the back of your mind. Every time something happens, you have a thought that is just a knee-jerk reaction that has been programmed into your psyche from probably the time you're 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. So what we need to do is we need to actively find those markers. Find those thoughts that are in your mind that continue to repeat, that tell a story about everything that happens to you, and rewire those thoughts. Once those thoughts are rewired, everything will change. Everything will shift. And this is a process that takes some time. The reason why they call it spiritual practice is because it's something that you have to learn and actively get better at. Okay, I've been doing reality transurfing, or at least I think I have, for 8 years. I've been learning these concepts and trying these principles for 8 years. And I'm just now to the point where I'm figuring this stuff out and I'm like, oh my God, like, aha, that's what it is. I'm having profound revelations about how to actually implement the principles. That's what's more important. You know, we can read a 900-page book, but you're not just going to automatically start doing the stuff that's in that book. One of my mentors says that we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. And I couldn't really agree with that more. The thing is, if it's not at the top of our mind, we forget about it, and then we regress back to those thought markers. That's our natural, embedded pattern that we have created in our mind unknowingly, completely subconsciously, right? Like it's not even your fault. But what has happened is that you have over time created these beliefs and these markers about the world, these knee-jerk reactions that are keeping you stuck exactly where you are, and that's why you can't shift in reality. The reason why you can't shift in reality is not because you don't want to. It's not because you're not trying. It's not because you have not enough energy. It's not because you don't have the intention. The problem is that you've created a mountain with your mind that's not even real. It's not really even there. But in your mind, it's there. In your experience, it's there. It's clearly holding you back. So what we need to do is unhypnotize ourselves from these markers. These markers create us into zombies. The only difference between us and an NPC, a non-player character, a extra in a movie, is our ability to shift these markers, to notice these markers, and to delete them out of our mind and quit those habits. Push those habits away by incorporating new habits, okay? This sounds so simple, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I can just do that. Well, but here's the thing. I've been practicing this for 8 years, and I'm just now getting to the point where I'm identifying these and fixing them, okay? And I can very much shortcut that for you by helping you find these markers that have taken me, sneaky little guys, that have taken me years to uncover and figure out. So that's what I want to help you with. That's what I want to help you do, is basically deconstruct the auto embedded thought loops that are in your mind, that are keeping you asleep, that are keeping you hypnotized by the script, that are keeping you and making you a fucking zombie in real life and keeping you right where you're at, not achieving your goals, not doing the things that you want to do, broke, sad, depressed, not finding the partners that you want. I know how this stuff feels, guys. When I first discovered reality transurfing, I got invited to be a part of a group and basically built that group along with a couple of other people. And there was a big falling out. I wasn't able to be a part of the group anymore. Long story short, I didn't react in the way that I was shown in reality transurfing. I made a ton of mistakes. Then the pandemic happened. I continued to make a ton of mistakes. Then I'd read the book, but I wouldn't practice it. And the problem, big problem, is I didn't have anybody helping me to practice it. I was trying to do it all on my own. I didn't have accountability. I didn't have anyone who was an objective coach or mentor. Now I have several mentors, and they have helped me a ton. So because I have mentors, because I have practiced this for 8 years, because I have finally cracked the code and put this into practice, I'm able to hand it over to you and say, look, here is what you need to do. Here's how to find these markers. Here's how to dissolve and delete these markers. I can show you exactly, and I will show you exactly step by step how to find, delete, and start living the life that you want to live. You put this stuff into action, it has no other option but to work. This is reality. It's what it is. But when we're actually using these principles to our disadvantage more often than we're using them for our advantage. Why? Because we're not aware of it. As soon as we become aware, as soon as we wake up in the dream, which is basically what reality transurfing is teaching. It's lucid dreaming in real life. Lucid dreaming in real life. That's what we're teaching. So that's what I want to show you. That's what I am sharing with you here in this challenge. And I am really happy to have you here. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to working with you and seeing your progress. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.